I lost everything at 65. My house, my savings, my wife. I was ready to give up, but one decision kept me alive. Let me tell you what happened. It started on a Tuesday. The sheriff taped a yellow paper to my door, the final notice. My wife Eleanor had been gone 6 months. Our home was gone. I got in my truck with one suitcase. I just drove. I ended up at a rundown motel called the Starlight. The owner, Leo, saw me. He gave me a room for fixing a sink. One night he asked me, "What's one thing you know how to do, Sam?" Not what I did for work, what I knew. I was silent. Then I remembered. "I know wood," I whispered. "I built our house." Leo just nodded. He took me to a shed full of scrap wood. My hands were clumsy. I made a rough birdhouse. Sanding it, I remembered teaching my granddaughter. The smell of sawdust opened a door in my heart. A woman named Maria asked for a bench from her mother's old beams. I was scared. This was someone's grief. Leo said, "You know wood. Just listen to it." I made the bench. When Maria sat on it, she said, "It feels held." She paid me. It wasn't about the money. It was grief turned into something solid. My son called. He said, "Come to Boston. We have space." I looked at my shed, my tools. For the first time, I said no out of love, not despair. He was angry. He didn't call for a month. Then the shed burned down. A wiring fault. We watched it burn. All my work gone. Leo was devastated. I felt a strange calm. The shed was ashes. The skill in my hands was not. The next morning I started pulling metal from the wreck. Leo joined me. Then the town showed up. Maria brought her brother. Others came with lumber and tools. We built a new workshop. Later, Leo gave me 2 ledgers. He'd tracked all my work. There was a real profit. "Your business," he said. "I'm just the landlord." I held those books. That's when I understood. The decision that saved me wasn't driving away. It was saying yes to that question. What do you know how to do? I decided to use my hands, to build instead of just mourn. I'm 68 now. I teach others. The grief for Eleanor is still here. But it's like the grain in wood now, not a flaw. The story that gives it strength. If you've lost everything, ask yourself, what's one thing you know how to do? Then go do it, poorly at first. That's how you build a new life, piece by piece. So I started teaching. Leo wanted to learn woodworking. So did a quiet teenager from town named Jake. Jake never said much, just watched. His hands were always in his pockets. I showed him how to measure twice, cut once. He messed up his first board. He got so angry I thought he might throw it. I told him, "Wood forgives. Sand it smooth and try again." He looked at me like I was crazy, but he did it. And you know what? That messed up board became the back of a beautiful bookshelf. He smiled, just a little one, but I saw it. Then my son David came to visit. He didn't tell me he was coming. He just showed up one afternoon. He stood in the doorway of the new workshop, looking at the sawdust and the projects. He looked at me in my old apron. I was scared. I thought he'd be angry again, but he just walked in. He ran his hand over a table I was finishing. "You built this?" he asked. I nodded. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Mom would be proud." That's all he said, but it was everything. We had dinner that night, the three of us, me, David, and Leo. We ate at the little table on Leo's porch. We didn't talk about the past. We talked about the wood. We talked about the wood. And you know what? That dinner broke something open in me. After David left, the quiet felt different. It wasn't empty, but it let the truth in. I went back to my room at the Starlight, and I looked at that picture of Eleanor in the new frame I'd made. I finally said the thing I'd been running from, out loud. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry I sold your piano. I'm sorry I couldn't save the house. I'm sorry I was so lost after you were gone that I became a ghost to our son." I sat on that bed and I cried, hard, for the first time since the funeral. It wasn't a quiet grief. It was ugly. It hurt. Leo must have heard me. He didn't knock. He just opened the door, came in, and sat on the floor with his back against the wall. He didn't say a word. He just waited. When I could breathe again, I told him, "I failed her." He looked at me and said, "No, you survived her. That's different." That was the hardest moment. Letting someone see that, admitting the cost, all that lost time with David, all those years I defined myself by what was gone. But Leo sitting there, not fixing it, just witnessing it, that was the start of understanding. The breaking point was also the turning point. That breaking point was also the turning point. Here's what I learned, sitting there on that motel floor with Leo. I was wrong about almost everything. I thought love was about providing, about building a fortress of safety that nothing could ever penetrate. So when Eleanor got sick, I thought my job was to hold the walls up by myself. I sold the piano. I fought with the insurance. I hid the real numbers from her, from David. I thought I was being strong. I was just being alone. What love really required wasn't a general. It was a partner. It was saying, "I'm scared too," and letting her hold my hand while we faced it together. I robbed us of that. I thought strength was silence. It's not. Strength is the truth, spoken softly. And after she was gone, I made another mistake. I thought my story was over. At 65, you're supposed to be summing up, not starting over. I defined myself by what was gone. The husband, the homeowner, the retiree. I became a museum of my own past. Leo's question, "What do you know how to do?" forced me to define myself by what was left. Not by title, but by capacity. A hand that can hold a chisel. An eye that can see a line in a piece of scrap wood. That shift, from what you've lost to what you still have, even if it's small and covered in dust, that's the shift that lets air back into the room. So my advice, especially if you're my age and you're staring at a hole where your life used to be, is this. Don't perform. Just be there, for yourself first. You don't have to have a 5-year plan. You just need a next thing, a sink to fix, a bench to build, a walk to take. Action, any small tangible action, is an antidote to despair. It proves to you that you still are. And don't hide your mess. I hid from David because I was ashamed. I thought I had to have everything figured out before I could be his father again. That was pride, not love. Let your people see you struggling. You'd want to see them, wouldn't you? You'd want to be the one sitting on the floor, just waiting. Give them that same gift. It's not a burden, it's a bridge. And the hope, the real quiet hope, is this: you still have time. Maybe not decades, but now is enough. A new life isn't a mansion you build in a day. It's a birdhouse, then a bench, then a workshop that burns down, and with the help of others, gets built again. It's incremental. It's built in the minutes between the grief. You don't replace what you lost. You grow something new around it. The love for Eleanor, the memory of our home, it's not gone, it's the foundation. The new things, this workshop, these friendships, the tentative peace with my son, they're built right on top of that old sacred ground. The past isn't a place you live in, it's the soil you grow from. That's my story. I lost everything at 65. This one decision, to use my hands, to answer that question with action instead of words, kept me alive. It gave me a future built piece by piece, a purpose salvaged from the wreckage. And if you're watching this, and you're in that dark place I was in, I need you to do something for me. First, just hit that subscribe button. It sounds simple, but it's a decision. It's you saying, I'm open to this. It helps this channel reach more people who are lying awake, thinking their story is over. Turn on those notifications too, so you don't miss the next story. Maybe it'll be the one that gives you your own what-if moment. Then, I want you to do the real work. In the comments below, I want you to answer Leo's question. Don't overthink it. What's one thing you know how to do? It can be anything. You know how to make a perfect pot of soup. You know how to listen. You know how to grow tomatoes. You know how to tell a story. Just type it. I know how to. That act of typing it makes it real. It's your first declaration. And while you're there, read the other comments. You'll see you're not alone. You'll see a tapestry of human capacity. It's breathtaking. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe it's a friend who's recently retired and feels adrift. Maybe it's a parent who's lost a spouse. Maybe it's someone who's just had the earth swallow them whole. Send it with a simple note. This made me think of you. How are you really? That's how we rebuild communities, one honest question at a time. Thank you for listening, for sitting with me in this quiet space. Remember, the world is full of scrap wood, waiting for someone who knows how to see the potential in it. You are that someone. Go build your birdhouse.